Go.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
All praises, honor, and glory be to
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Shai.
Double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well through the spirit of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai. And peace and mercy and blessings be unto you, elect Akim, that are throughout the four corners of the world. Shalom be unto you. You know, once you've been in this truth and you grounded and you settled, you basically know how to abound. You know how to suffer need. You know how to be abased. You know how to be humble. And it's through the experiences of catching hell that makes us humble, man. We need to suffer. We need to go through stuff, because when we go through afflictions, when we go through hardships, when we go through bondage, that what that does is that makes us more perfect individuals, man. To be perfect is to be of a humble and a contrite spirit, man. That's the reason why, when you read Psalms, the 51st chapter, it tells you that a man that's of a broken and a contrite heart is acceptable before the Most High Heavenly Father, because he's not full of pride. And the scripture tells you that pride was not made for men. The scriptures also tells you that it is hard for a man that is rich to enter into the kingdom of heaven. So this lesson is going to be about suffering. All right. When you're suffering, you basically you're being made perfect. And also, the matter of fact, it's going to be more so about being content. With the things that you have. Because we don't have a lot right now. We don't have great abundant riches. We don't have, wealth. We don't have our own kingdom right now, man. But we seek one to come. We know that the blessings of the Most High are right around the corner. And for the scripture says that our salvation is closer than when we first began. So, you brothers be content and hold on and just be happy to have your sanity, man. Be happy to have this truth, to have understanding. Because this is far better than any gold or silver that anyone can ever possess. This is the true treasure. And it's because of your faith in this. It's because of your faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai that you're going to receive greater riches. Hey, the scripture says, "Blessed is the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." I'd rather be poor right now and rich in the kingdom of heaven than to be rich right now and low when I come back in the kingdom of heaven, man. So, the first scripture that we're going to start out with is Proverbs 30 and verse 7.
Proverbs 30 and 7. 2 things have I required of thee, deny me not them. Salakia, I'm going to read it over. Proverbs 30 and 7. 2 things I have required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies, and give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain.
Yeah, so you don't really want to be poor, but you don't want to be rich either. Because when you go over to I want to say that Sirach, the 11th chapter, it says in the day of prosperity there's a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction there's a forgetfulness of prosperity. So, when you look at it and you thoroughly analyze it, we're right in the middle. We don't suffer want, or we don't have a need for anything. The Most High Heavenly Father gives us everything that we need. And the reason that he gives it to us, first of all, is because we're faithful and we put our trust in him. But secondly, it's so that we don't become poor and we take and we steal and we forget that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai it gives to those that are in need, man. Or basically, to become rich and abundant, and we take the name of the Lord in vain, man. Because there's a lot of people, like for an example, IUIC, they're doing good over there. They're eating off of the t-shirt sales and the camp starter kits, and they're getting wealthy and they're rich. And look at them. They don't have a care for the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They taking the name in vain. They actually want to build up their kingdom here. But not so, because this place is going to be destroyed, man. And everybody that seek riches in this place will be destroyed in it, man. Because they don't have a care for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Their God is money, man. But you can't be that way. You got to be content with what you have. Can you grab Matthew's, the 13th chapter? It's going to be about the seeds that were sowed on different grounds. And look for the one who said that the riches of this world and the cares of this world choked him.
I'm right there where it say
it's going to be a little bit further where it's down. Seeds. Yeah, go down. Look around like 14.
And Slakia, Matthew 13 and 14, and them was fulfilled the prophecy of Ananias, which said, by hearing ye should.
All right, it's going to be down a little bit further.
Okay, come.
It's going to start out saying, hear the parable, or hear the understanding, or something like that. Look around 20. Yep, 20.
20? Okay, Khan. Matthew
probably start from 19.
19? Okay, Khan. Matthew 13 and 19.
Because, the cares of and the riches and the things of this world are actually choking some brothers that are in the truth. They care, they have a great care for their family. They have a great care for their wife, for food and raiment and what they're going to put on. You don't have to worry about those things because the Most High will supply them. The Most High will provide. You don't have to worry about that. The Most High knows what you need, man. So all you got to do is just put your trust in Him and believe on Him through Yahweh Shai, and the Most High will grant you all of the things that you're lacking. You're not going to have a want for anything, man. But brothers will care too much for that to the point where they won't come to camp on Saturdays. Like they have the opportunity. I'm not talking about brothers that have no choice. But I'm talking about the brothers that do have the opportunity. But they say, okay, well, I'm not going to come on Saturdays or any day throughout the week because I'm going to pick up some extra hours at work just so I can, sustain. Or brothers don't want to do videos and et cetera, because they care too much about receiving these worldly goods, man. You can't be of that mind. This truth got to come first. And yeah, don't get me wrong, a brother has to work so that he can provide for himself, because you ain't just going to get no free money out of thin air, man. The scripture says, if you don't work, you don't eat. But you still have to make room for this truth. So if you got an opportunity at work to do a video, you get like a 30-minute break, go ahead, because edifying the flock is more important, man. It's about edifying the flock. The Most High ain't gonna save you based upon how good you work for Esau, man. It's about doing the work of the Most High. The Most High, Yahweh Shai said, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, but give it to the Most High that which belongs to the Most High, man. You can't have a care over these worldly goods to the point where it chokes the truth out of you, man. So go ahead and read that.
Okay, Matthew 13 and 19. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understand it not, then cometh the wicked one and casteth away that which has sown in his heart.
This is talking about the different people that you teach, there's some that's not even rooted, man, and as soon as you teach them something, they don't have any understanding or any belief, then comes Satan just to snatch that word right out of them. Go ahead.
This is he which received the seed by the wayside. But he that received the seed into the stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Yet he have not rooted in himself, but dureth for a while. When tribulation and persecution arises because of the word.
Yeah, that's when you start catching hell because of his word. Go ahead.
By and by, he is offended.
So as soon as you start catching hell for this word, or for this truth's sake, he get offended and he leaves the truth, man. So you got 3 different kind of guys, Well, 4. Because the 4th is the elect. Go ahead.
That's it.
There's
oh no, the Salakia. Verse 22. He also that received the seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word and
the
care of this world, and he deceitfulness of riches.
So that's the point right there. There's a guy who received the word, but the cares of this world, and what else?
Deceitfulness of riches.
The deceitfulness of riches. Go ahead.
Choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful.
Because he cared too much for the world. He might have a family that he gotta provide for, whatnot, and a wife and children, etc., etc. He might even just want these earthly goods, that he gotta have. That's more important than his truth, man. Hey, sometimes there's brothers that had to sleep on buses, man. Because they cared more about this truth than about this world. There's guys that actually had to leave their women because they were being demons, and they were stopping, hindering the brothers from being in the spirit, from doing this truth, man. You got to be of a mind state that you're willing to forsake all for this truth. Because if you're not worthy. You're not worthy of the great abundant riches that's coming afterwards, man. You got to be of that Matthew the 19th chapter spirit, man. Verse 29. Knowing that in the kingdom, the Most High is going to give you a hundredfold of all of the things that you're willing to lose on this side. You got to be willing to count all things lost for Yahushua if need be, man. Can you grab Philippians 3:7? That's the reason why Paul said in 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter, the married man care for the things of this world, man, and how he may please his woman. The marriage that you should, because there was a guy that came up to camp, and I don't know, he was scoffing or something, and he said something pertaining to marriage, and I said the only marriage that we care about, is the marriage of the church with the Lord, man. That's it. That's the only marriage that we care about. That's the only one that's important. These women that you have now, they ain't true wives, all right? A true wife is supposed to hold her husband down, okay? But as soon as you're faced with adversity, these women are gonna leave you. They're gonna talk to you, and you're gonna be like, man, you sound like one of those strange women. Because we're all going through a situation like Job, where we're being plagued and we're catching hell and we're suffering. But as Job later in was blessed to the point that he received abundant for the things that he lost and that he was willing to lose, instead of letting go of the integrity that he had in the Lord, man. If you're suffering loss just so that you can maintain a righteous lifestyle and live uprightly, that's what you call integrity, man. And those men are going to be blessed, all right? So this is Philippians 3:7.
Philippians 3:7. But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahushua.
Yeah, gain the things of the world, the things that we have in the world. Those things that we gained in the world that was gained unto us, we count loss for Yahushua. Go ahead.
Yea, doubtless And I count all things but loss for excellency, for knowledge of the Messiah, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, my power.
It says, yeah, doubtless. And I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Mashiach Yahushai, my power. So the knowledge of Yahushai is more important than the things of this world. You know? Having the understanding and knowing about Yahushai and knowing about this truth, you know, knowing about the Most High, that's more important. That's more rich, you know? This wisdom is more rich than the things of this world, man. Than the riches of this world. Go ahead.
For whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung.
Dung. You know, which is shit, man. You know, the riches of this world, all of the things that you have in this world is equated to shit. You know, because when the Lord loosed out that fire, you know, and the scripture says that the elements shall be set on fire. You know, all of the things that you possess in this society, all of the things that you possess in America, they're all elements. You know, so they're going to be burned with fervent heat. You know, and you're going to lose those. You can't carry all of these things that you possess on this side into the kingdom of heaven. You know? But if you're faithful and you're upright, man, I can't even tell you of the things that you're going to be blessed with. Because the scripture says, I have not seen nor ear heard. You know, so be in the spirit of you know, suffering and accepting, you know, the suffering that you're going through. Why? Can you grab First Peter 4:1? And not just suffering, but basically being content. You know, be content, Akim. You know, with what you have. You know,
got it.
Go ahead.
1 Peter 4:1. For as much then as the Messiah have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself likewise in the same mind.
Arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. Why? It's about to tell you. Go ahead.
For he that hath suffered in the flesh has cleansed from sin. Has ceased from sin.
He that have suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go down to 13.
13. Okay. But rejoice inasmuch, let me say the scripture, 1 Peter 4:13, but rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of the Messiah suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceedingly joy.
The scripture tells you that Yahushua became poor for our sakes, that we through his poverty may become rich, man. And what did we become rich in? We became rich in faith and in the spirit, man. You know? So you got to be willing to suffer, man. Ain't nothing wrong with a little suffering. It's through that suffering that make you strong. When you go to the gym and you want to get your body fit, right? You would put yourself through suffering. You will lift weights. You'll do cardio. You know, run on the treadmill. You do different kind of squats or bench press, etc., etc. That's you suffering. You know, you might not want to go, but you know that you have to do it in order to achieve that goal of making your body, you know, look presentable or looking, you know, fit. Well, it's the same thing on a spiritual aspect, man. You know, and we're going through these different hardships, you know, just to make us better. You know, like the prodigal son in Luke, the 11th chapter, I believe. Luke, either the 15th chapter or the 11th chapter. You know. So go over to Philippians 4:11, read through 12, and we'll end on that note. You know. Basically, this video is just basically about suffering and being content with what you have, man. Because it's through your suffering right now that you're going to be joint heirs in the kingdom of heaven with Yahushua. You know, and I hope that this video, you know, it makes sense. And I hope that it's edifying to you, Akim, that are out there that are sincere. You know, because we've been catching hell for a long time. And the time is coming that our hell is almost over, man. Our suffering is almost over, you know, and we're about to inherit those blessings. Like, for an example, when you saving to put money inside of a bank account, you know, when you're saving to put money inside of a bank account, you know, you might want to spend that money. All right, you might want to spend it, but you can't. Well, that's the same thing. You're basically, when you suffer, you're saving up and you're sowing into your spiritual bank account, man. Go ahead.
Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased and how to be abound. Everywhere in all things I am instructed to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need.
God, so this is the way that you have to be. You got to be willing to suffer, and you got to know how to suffer, and you got to know how to abound, man. And you got to know how to be content in all things that you go through in this truth of ours. Go ahead.
Philippians 4:13, I could do all things through the Messiah which strengthens me.
And that's the point right there. We can do all things through Yahweh Shai who strengthens us, man. It's through Yahweh Shai that we receive the strength to go on, man. You know, one of the reasons being because we have him as an example. Look at all the things that he suffered, but he achieved his goal. He endured into the end. We got to arm ourselves with the same mind. You know, what did it say in 1 Peter, the fourth chapter, the first verse? Arm yourselves with the same mind as Yahweh Shai. You know, and when you do that, you can do all things through Yahweh Shai that strengthens us, man. Yahweh Shai is our strength. He's our example. All right. You know, he came to show us a more better and a more perfect way, you know, and knowing that and knowing what's to come, that should be enough, man. You should be content with that. All right. Having food, having a shelter, you know, being able to sustain from day to day. You should be content with that, you know. But we're going to receive far greater and abundant riches in the kingdom of heaven. You just got to, you know, you can't give in to this world. You can't be conformed to this world. You can't care about the riches of this world, because in order to get the riches of this world, you got to sell out and you got to do wickedness, man. You know, things that doesn't please the Lord, man. You want to do the things that please the Lord. And the scripture says, blessed is the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You know, so with that, you know, we hope that this lesson was edifying. And until the next time, it's Shalom, you brothers.